Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions. I have got another comic book haul video for you. This week I've picked up some really nice books from eBay, whatnot, my LCS, and from a little comic book show that we have here in the Baltimore area. It happens about once every month. It's a small little dealer show, but I picked up some real gems. Now some of these books are going to be going to CGC, some of them are going to go straight to the PC, and a few are going to a special signing down at CGC at the end of the month, and we'll go over those books at the very end. Now before we get going, guys, if you like this channel, I always encourage you to subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and if you like today's video, please leave a comment and hit that thumbs up, and it really helps the analytics on the videos. So let's get going. Guys, these are some really banger books. First one I bought right here, and I ended up buying this straight from eBay. It's a 9.4. It is Avengers 125, one of the classic Thanos stories from Jim Starlin at the time. I remember growing up with this book. I loved this book. I loved Captain Marvel. I loved the Thanos stories at the time. I loved how Captain Marvel, the book, and the Avengers kind of crisscrossed an awful lot during this time period. These are some wonderful stories. Am I wrong? Is this Steve Englehart? I'm not sure who wrote this. Maybe it was Starlin himself. I can't remember. I know that both of them are writing these books at that time, but with Thanos, it might have been Starlin. If you guys actually, you know what? Let's just look right here. It says it right here. Yep, Steve Englehart story. So hopefully he was working with Jim Starlin at the time. But I just remember I love this issue, and I remember as I started to get involved with more CGC books, I wanted to get this book out of my collection. I was going to get it prepped, maybe sent to the CGC. I wanted to see what the book looked like. Book looked really good. I pulled it out of the bag, and what do you know, there was a piece of Scotch tape right across the cover down here at the bottom, and I'm kind of beside myself. And then I started looking for a replacement copy. I ended up finding, well, I've been finding a lot of copies. The prices have really gone up, but I ended up buying this one. It was a 9.4, it was off of eBay, and it's in the older case and everything, and I think I'm going to end up having this reholdered, and hopefully it'll still retain that 9.4, but this is a really nice copy, and I'm super psyched to have that in the collection. Alright, one of the others I picked up on eBay this week was Albedo number 3. And guys, you know, this is the second appearance of Usagi Yojimbo, and this right here was one of those buys that I did this to make up for a mistake I made this week. There is a local secondhand bookstore that actually had a copy of this, and it was down a few miles away, and over the holiday my wife and I decided we were going to go down, take a look. She wanted to go to the store. I saw that they had this, and like, hey, let's go down and take a look. Let's see if it's going to be worth the money. Be able to inspect it in person, to check for spine ticks, whatever. And they actually had issues 3 and 4 down there. And I ended up, in the end, I didn't buy number 4 because of the rust that it had on the staples. There was a lot of rust. The staples were completely rusted. So I passed on it. But when I got down there, and I went to pull the phone up to show the clerk which book I was looking for, it wasn't on their site anymore. And I'm going, what's going on? And I went and talked to him, and the clerk went and checked. Yes, in that half hour it took me to get from the house to the store, it had sold. And I'm going, crap, what did I do? I should have just bought it at the time, but I thought I had time. I didn't think many people were going to the website, but it turns out that they list a lot of their comics on eBay too, so if somebody saw it, they picked up a good copy of that. Now, I ended up looking on eBay, and I ended up buying a copy for about the same price as I would have paid down there. I don't know if it was in the same or better or less condition. I don't know. This one has a little spine tick right here, but overall it looks really nice. It's going to really improve once I get this cleaned and pressed. Especially a press will help this an awful lot, but I am super psyched to have this in my collection. I do have Usagi Yojimbo number 1. Guys, sorry about that if we kicked out of the video for a second. The lights all went off. I lost power there for a second. So if this looks a little jumpy, I just literally turned the camera off, turned it back on with the new lighting and everything. But let me continue with the story here. Now this right here, so I ended up buying this, as I said, and as I said, I'm going to do a little clean and press on this. I think it will be really nice. As I was saying, I have issues. I had issue number 1 of Usagi. Pretty much the rest of the issues after that, I've got just about probably 99% of everything else. But I never had one of the albedo issues. I'll probably never pick up number 2 with the price that it's commanding these days. But this right here was pretty reasonable. I'll try to pick up number 4 eventually, but this right here, really nice copy. I am super psyched to have that for the PC. Alright. Now the one book I picked up, one of the books I picked up from my LCS, and my LCS is Third Eye Comics down in Annapolis. I've got, actually here where I live, I've got multiple stores around that I go to. Third Eye I go to a lot because they buy a lot of new issues. They actually have a lot of variants, ratios that I love getting. I don't spec on every one of them, but I like that choice. I go down there and they have these options available. Some of my other LCSs don't buy as many new issues, so they don't have as many of these to choose from. So that's why I choose Third Eye. But they've been getting into a lot of more back issues, been doing a lot of wall books and everything, and I've been slowly picking up some of these back issues of Hawkeye, and this issue is number 3. And most of these Hawkeye issues, these early issues, there are some spec value in all of these, and that's why I picked it up. Definitely going to give it a clean and press. Most of their books end up having small ticks and everything, but this looked really nice, and I'm super psyched to get this. This is going to be for sale eventually. But this was the only real value book that I picked up this week. The other books I picked up were things that were new comic books this week. I won't go over those because most of us who are buying comics, we know we're buying a lot of the new issues, so I won't go over all those I picked up. Probably should have picked up a lot of Thor number 20. I've got that ordered, so it was going to be coming in, and I failed to pick up any of those, and after that they're all gone. I checked with them. Yeah, they're all gone. So anyway, that was my LCS. Now I'm going to jump back over to eBay and whatnot, and I've kind of just put them all together here. I'm not going to go over individual orders or anything. So I'm just going to run through the books and we'll show you what I picked up. Now this is the 5th issue of Hawkeye. This is the 2nd printing. And then I picked up this Strange Academy number 10. This is Miguel Mercado variant. I love these covers where you have Magic and Scarlet Witch on them. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd one I've got that pairs the two of them together. I really, really enjoy the art on those. I don't know why, but I've always thought that was pretty cool. Now this is the Walking Dead Deluxe number 27. This is the Comics Vault Live book. It is from the ECCC foil variant. And I was watching a lot of Whatnot channels, and it seemed like this was a very popular issue, so I went ahead and picked up one of those. I picked up House of Slaughter number 1. This is the Comics Vault Live exclusive. I'm not sure who the artist is on that, but I really like that. That was a nice cover. Now this is a Greg Horn Virgin variant for Department of Truth number 13, and I think there was only 500 of these printed maybe, and I was really excited about this brand new book and everything, but there ended up being some color rub over here, although I can't really see I mean I can see it, but you put it under the light and you look at it, it doesn't look like it's been rubbed. So I'm not sure if that's a defect or if it was there on other issues, but definitely I'm a little disappointed with that. And then I picked up a virgin copy of The Me You Love in the Dark. This is from, I guess, Rabbit Comics, the Valentine Pache? Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Virgin. Beautiful cover. I love this series. Love the artwork. I love the storyline. And now we're going to go back to some books that if you watch some of the other videos, you're going to know that these are books that I'm high on. They're not super valuable, but if you can pull those 9.6s and 9.8s once you get them graded, there's a little bit of value to them, and who knows, I might keep them for my PC. I think it's more of the challenge of trying to find a really good copy on some of these. That it's what's been driving me more than anything. And let's start with Fantastic Four number 246 and 247. The Too Many Dooms storyline. I think this is the first Christoph appearance in this issue. I love both of these. I love the John Byrne storylines. You know I love Dr. Doom. John Byrne's Dr. Doom was fantastic. Second only to Kirby's Dr. Doom. And I love these. These look really nice. I'm really excited about both of those. I picked that up from a seller on eBay that advertised the books as basically near mint plus never read. So once I really take a look at this, we'll just see how accurate they really are on this. Let me move these down. Now these were, again, more books that you will have seen on my videos, going all the way back to the Baltimore Comic Con, that I love to get. Avengers 185, the first part of the 3-part Scarlet Witch Quicksilver storyline, origin storyline. Got a nice George Perez cover there, John Byrne artwork. X-Men 205, yet another copy of this. How many have I bought of this? And X-Men 256. I have bought a ton of these books and love this. The Jim Lee artwork and the Barry Windsor Smith artwork, just absolutely. These were two of my favorite issues back during that period. Love these issues. This one right here, I want a 9.8 on this more than anything. That is going to be in my PC. This is probably of the Jim Lee run. This right here was my favorite issue. Why? I don't know, but I love that issue. Everybody loves Jim Lee artwork, but this is my favorite Jim Lee comic right there. Okay, now I know these came from Whatnot, and I ended up buying another copy of Spider-Man 2099, first issue, and this looked really nice. This book, everybody knows this value in this book is going up. I had a 9.8 out of my personal collection. I got a 9.8 on it when it came back in. I ended up selling that to a friend. Second copy I had did not meet that pre-screen 9.8, so it needed a little bit of work. I've since bought this one and I think one or two more of these. Most of them end up having a little bit of a crease, it seems like, on the back cover near the staple, that as a presser, it's a little bit of a challenge with this cardstock cover, but I tell you what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of moisture to that spot, and then I'm going in with the tack iron a little bit, but then giving it a press. And on the other issue I've got of this, the other copy I've got, it really came out pretty good. And got to take a look at it again. I might have to do it a couple times to get it where I want to, but I've been having a lot of success by adding spot moisture to these comics and then giving them anywhere from a quick press, and for me a quick press is usually about 2 hours, and then I can take it out and and judge it. Could change in different circumstances, but that's been my sweet spot so far. But I'm super happy to have another copy of that. And while I was there, the same seller had issue number 2, and I don't believe there's any spec value on this, but hey, it's a number 2. I'll just go ahead and get both of them. I think it was $2. All right, so I picked up a new copy of, this is the new Asagi Jimbo from IDW, first issue. I've got this signed by Stan Sakai, but I didn't have a second copy, and I figured I'll pick up a second copy, and I don't think there's a lot of value to it right now, but who knows, I may hold it for another signing by Stan at some point. And then I picked up, this is the second copy I've picked up in the last few weeks of Jessica Cruz's full first appearance. This is Justice League 31, and right off the bat, this one looks better than the other copy that I picked up. Clean spine. Can't see any visible defects right now. I know the other one I have looks fantastic. I've already cleaned and pressed it. It does have one color breaking spine tick over here, so I have to determine whether there's enough value, and you know you're not going to get a 9.8 on that, but is there enough value on it to send to CGC, even if it gets a 9.6, 9.4? I'm not sure, but this one looked a lot better to start with, so I may take another shot on that. And then the last two I picked up from Whatnot this week, I picked up issues 1 and 2 of Jim Lee's Wildcat, and there is virtually no value on this wonderful prism cover here, but there is, if you can get a 9.8 on this one here, this is every day, that's $120 CGC slab. So I keep picking up copies in this. I've actually picked up, I think I've gotten at least 1 or 2 back as 9.8s. This is not a hard book to press, but there's a million of them out there, so there's not a lot of super value on it, but just, again, wonderful Jim Lee artwork. Alright, so that was everything from Whatnot and eBay and my LCS. And so, as I said, the last thing I went to was on Sunday, and Sunday I stopped off at a little comic book show. This one was up in Hunt Valley, Maryland. It rotates. I think it's going to be, the next time they have this show, it's going to be down in Laurel, Maryland. So it kind of rotates locations a little bit. And there's some dealers there that bring some really nice books. The quality on some of these books are really good. But I went into this show, instead of my normal thing that I've been doing for the last 3 months, basically, which has been looking for certain X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avenger books. And as I always say, if you watch my videos, you know what I'm looking for. You saw some of them in this video. X-Men 205 to 256, 211, 212, Avengers 185, 86, and 87. You've got Fantastic Four 243 and 244. So less 246, 47. I'm trying to think what else. 272, 273, and 280. Those have been, I've bought a lot of, oh, and Spiderman. There's definitely a handful of Spiderman issues that, you know, I've been doing. A lot of them are the Hobgoblin stories from the 200 issue run, you know, 239, 243, 244, and you know, that's what I've been picking up. That's what I've been going to at just about every show I go into. Those are the books that I'm looking for, and it's because I know what the prices are, what I should pay for them, and I'm getting real picky about what I'm picking up. If they've got spine ticks, I'm not picking them up. I'm shooting for the best possible copy I can get. There's a lot of value in these books at that 9.8, 9.6 grade, and that's what I keep shooting for. I keep looking for the best copies, and Lucky is helping. Okay, kiddo, let's go down. Come on. But so I go into this show, and I went into it with a different mindset. And in this show, what I was looking for were books for George Perez, and specific books like Crisis on Infinite Earths 6 and 7, some specific Teen Titans books. Trying to think, it's the annual number 2, issue 44 at a high grade. Which other ones? I can't remember exactly which ones, but it was a short list. And I'm looking for him because I'm getting ready to send books down to him for a signing that he's doing. It may be the final signing down at CGC towards the end of the month, beginning of February. The books need to be down there in their hands by the 31st, so there's not a lot of time here. And I've got books in the press, in the shop right now, that are about ready to go. They're good to go right now, but I've been having issues with number 7 on Crisis of Infinite Earths, and what my problem with that is it looks really good, but there's a printer defect on a couple of them that just, I'm trying to get away from it. So that was my number 1 book I was looking for at this show. So I ended up going down and I found a handful of the George Perez books I was looking for, paid a little bit. I ended up buying, well, I'll just start here. Let's show you the books. Here is issue 44, and I ended up paying more, and I wanted to on this, but I actually bundled it with several other books, and the way the price breaks down, I got this for about what I wanted. It is not a 9.8. There is a little spine tick over here, but this issue right here looks super clean, and especially for the signing, I'm going to be really excited about getting this one signed now. I've got this in the shop right now, but it is my reader copy. It was still pretty good, but it's not worth getting graded. Getting signed, yes, not getting graded, and I don't really want to send that one off. Whereas I would really, as I said, this may be the final time you'll ever get him to sign something. Who knows if he does a second signing, or we'll be able to do a second signing. I don't know. But I've got that issue right there, and then I found another copy of, as I said, annual number 2. This is the first appearance of the Vigilante, and I don't care about the Vigilante as much as this was a fantastic story. It was a great mystery story. The artwork's fantastic. George Perez was top of his game right here. I loved every page of this. First appearances in here from multiple characters. I love this issue. I've got this signed by both him, Perez, and Marv Wolfman, but I had a little problem when I got it signed. I had used a silver paint pen at the time, and it wasn't quite dry, and I ended up with a little bit of silver smear on the front, and it's a little disappointing. It doesn't present that well, but I'm going to hopefully get that signed again with this issue right there. And then I ended up, it took me a little bit of digging. I spent a lot longer in that show than I expected, but I ended up finding 4 copies, really nice copies, of issue number 7. Of course, everybody knows this is the classic Death of Supergirl. And as I said, I've got copies of this in the shop that are really nice right now. These right here look fantastic. Prices them, at least 3 of them were dirt cheap, which surprised me. That's why I went ahead and picked them up. Even if they're not perfect, even if I don't send them get them signed, they're still going to be worth more than that $10 that I paid for each one of them. So super excited. As soon as I'm done with this video, these books are going to be worked on. They're going to get into the press. These are my priority right now over the next couple of days. I want to get that order out and down to Florida as soon as possible. And then, of course, spending so much time there, I did pick up a few other books, and I kind of reverted back. As I said, those are my priorities, the George Perez, and then I kind of reverted back to my standard list of books that I've been looking for since October, Baltimore Comic-Con, and so I picked up a few more other things. This is Mighty Avengers number 1. Now, the spec value on this has gone down recently. This is the first appearance of Captain Marvel as, I believe, is it Spectrum or Photon? I never can remember in this issue. And this book has value because of the WandaVision series, and they're going to reuse the character for the Marvel's movie, Captain Marvel number 2, in the MCU. So I expect this book to go back up in value again. I've already got one in at CGC right now, and so we'll send that one in. Now here's the very appropriate book, and this is Young Avengers number 9. This is, am I wrong? Is it because of Kate Bishop? First time as Hawkeye on the cover? I'm not sure if that's completely accurate. I don't know if that's number 12. I know this one has a pretty high spec value for those 12 issues of Young Avengers, and this is a makeup for a book, one of the last books I picked up. It was super clean, but it had some spine ticks over here that I was working, and it ended up having a little bit of a dirt spot, and I'm not as good as I think I am sometimes, and I ended up doing a nice little color rub right over on the spine, and there it goes. That's the end of it being a spec book at all. But happy to have another copy of number 9. I'd love to get a 9.8 on that. I've got 9.8 on number 1 and number 12. I've got number 6 in at CGC right now. That was really nice. But we'll see. I found a really nice copy of X-Men 213. There we go. What did I say? 213. This one I've got in my PC right now. I got it graded, but it had serious color rub on the back spine, and I either got a 9 or a 9.2 on it. For a PC book, it was fine, but This one I took a look at it. There's no color rub on the back. Spine ticks at a minimum. I don't think there's any breaking on there at all. There's definitely some spine creases that need to be corrected, but this one has a shot at a 9/8. Picked up another copy of Superman the Man of Steel, number 18. This is the first full appearance of Doomsday. And another book that is in the press right now. I picked up a copy from my LCS here a few weeks ago that I've been working on. This one I think is a little bit nicer. And then I picked up another copy of Detective Comics number 566. This one looked really nice, even with some spine ticks minor. This one I think will press out really nice. This is the second copy of this I've picked up in as many weeks. I think this is the significance of it. Actually shows Batman's rogue gallery on here. It's kind of neat. Now I wasn't expecting to look for this one, but it was on the wall and I took a look at it, and this is 257. This is the first appearance of Nebula in comics, and I've got this book right now. I've got 3 of them graded. I've got 2 9.6s and 1 9.4. This is me trying to get that 9.8. As I said, I took a look at this book. It looks clean on the front and the back. It's got a really good shot. And then picked up another copy of X-Men 24, and I think this is just a classic Rogue Gambit cover right here. Another book that I've got in CGC. And then I picked up 2 copies of Marvel Comics Presents number 1. It's Walt Simonson cover with Wolverine right there. And this has a little bit of value if you can get that 9.8. It's not really super significant other than that. So got a shot at that. I've got my own personal copy that's in the press right now. We'll get to that eventually, but these will come in after that one. As you can, all of these will get cleaned and pressed at some point. Look at that, issue 256 of X-Men. I really wasn't looking for this. Again, I bought so many copies of this, but this looks super clean, and as I said, it's my favorite issue. I want a 9.8 on that. That one will end up in my PC if I can get that grade. And I was starting to look for a few issues of Iron Man, and I found a really nice copy of 127. This is part of that Demon in the Bottle storyline. I just cleaned and pressed the copy I bought a couple weeks ago in this. I picked up a second one of this. I really wanted to get 126. Which has the Tales of Suspense homage cover. Wonderful John Romita, Bob Layton artwork on that, and I found one. It looked great, and until I actually had the dealer take it out of the bag, and he turned it over on the back, and there was writing on the top of the back cover. It wasn't a little bit of writing either. It was a lot of writing. Other than that, that book looked fantastic. But I found this one instead, so I picked up another copy of that. And at the same buyer, he had issue 170, and I think, is this the first time that Rodney puts the Iron Man suit on? I think that's it on there. And it wasn't super expensive, so I was happy. Plus the price that he had on here, I think they were 30% off on the prices. And then from that same dealer, here's a book I wasn't looking for necessarily, but with his discount, it wasn't bad. This is Wolverine number 2. This is the Frank Miller storyline miniseries, and the only reason I ended up picking this up was after taking a look at it. Yes, there's spine creases down through here, but there's no color breaking on this, and I'm real hopeful that I can pull a 9.8 on this at this point. I didn't see any defects that I don't think I should be able to fix everything. Hope to get a 9.8. Right now I own 9.6s of all 4 of these issues. I've got one. I think I've got one issue. I think number 4 at a 9.8, and I'm going to have to. I'm shooting for 9.8s on that series, but it's going to be a case of if I can find it at a good price already graded, I'll buy it. If I can find a good copy like this and clean and press it myself, that's what I'm going to do. So who knows what's going to happen on that. We'll put it in the press. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but just more work for the shop. I've got 2 presses right now that pretty much run 24/7 on certain days of the week. But the big project that, as I said, I'm going into right now is getting those books ready for George Perez, get them off. I'd like to get those off by the end of the week. I may do another video right before I send it out, and I'll show you everything that I'm sending, and I've got a friend who's sending a few books too. I'm working on his books as well. So maybe stay tuned for later in the week and I'll post that video. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's everything I've picked up over the last week and a half. Hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy these books. What do you think of these books? I love most of these. I grew up with most of these, and I think that's why I keep buying them and trying to spec on them a little bit. But these are books that I love. These are books that I know, and can't really go wrong with them. And if anytime any of these books you like, if you're interested in them or anything, most of these books will always be for sale. You can always reach out and contact me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com. You can always leave a comment on the video. Either way, you can contact me. It's all good. I have no problem either way. But anyway, that is it, guys. I will see you next time for the next video. Take care now.